Hello and welcome to this Montgomery County Proclamation presentation by County Executive Mark Elbridge. Today the County Executive is joined by Montgomery County Public Schools music teachers and a student to honor Music in Our Schools Month. You'll hear from Sydney Leclerc, Ted McAllister, both teachers, and Shirley Han, who's a student at MCPS. But first, Montgomery County Executive Mark Elbridge.
So welcome everybody. We've just been having an interesting chat. For the folks at home, I was reminiscing over my years in school because I went to Montgomery Hills Junior High and I was in the chorus there. When I went to Einstein, I was in the choir, and then I played in a rock band for a bunch of years. So I have a deep appreciation of music, and they're much less restricted in what they do in the music classes now than when I was in music class, so that's also really good. I taught for 17 years at Rolling Terrace Elementary School, and my kids went to Rolling Terrace as well. And I know how hard it is to be a teacher, and it hasn't gotten any easier. I'm sure the pandemic's affected everything, and if you're a student, if you escape the pandemic, you're very lucky. But it certainly has affected a lot of things, and it is, like all the other art forms, really cool to see the kids show off their talents, whether it's in singing or whether it's in arts. It's all an opportunity for kids to excel and express themselves. I've been a strong supporter of education, and we've put a lot of money into the school system. We continue to put a lot of money into the school system, but I also think it's important we support the arts in the school system. This is not just an add-on, it's actually something that significantly contributes to people's well-being and gives them the opportunity to express themselves. And I think that's what music and the arts have always been. They've been forms of expression for people. So, we value the music education opportunities in Montgomery County. And so I've got a proclamation for all of you. And I don't know if you want to say something. Anybody want to say something?
Sure. I
Sure.
can speak for a bit. My name is Ted McAllister. I'm a music teacher in Montgomery County Public Schools. I teach elementary band and orchestra in the Gaithersburg area, and I'm also the president of our Montgomery County Music Educators Association. And I've just to echo so much of what was already said, music is an essential part for so many of our students, and ideally for all. And we do everything we can to make sure that every student has an opportunity to participate in music, or at least experience it. Teaching elementary band and orchestra, I give many students their first steps on instruments like the violin or the clarinet or the flute. And a lot of them learn that it's hard, but I think they also learn that one of the most important things that they can do at their age is to try something new and to take those risks that are safe risks, but help them grow and problem solve and teach that grit, as well as also just build on all the connections of other things they learn in schools. Learning music has so many parallels to learning a language, and there's even ways to draw in like how mathematical concepts like perpendicular lines affect the tone on a violin, and bringing those connections to them and seeing like that light bulb go off is one of the most valuable things I think students can experience. And as a teacher, I love to experience that also vicariously through them. And we're very fortunate here in Montgomery County that music plays such an active role in our schools and even the state at large. In the school system, the local public schools, we have adjudications all throughout March, especially where students are performing and demonstrating their mastery of the skills that they've learned, sometimes starting as young as in their general music classes, learning to sing and to understand beat and rhythm. And there's also plenty of opportunities for students, not just, of course, in schools, but what they take in school and what they bring that outside, whether they're doing the Strathmore Children's Chorus or whether they're doing the youth orchestras in the area, as well as just forming the ensembles that forming rock bands or singing in open mics, karaoke, even, they can take, I think the most important part of anything we do in school is not just that it stays in school, but that they take it, whether it's to doing those other musical opportunities or just other subjects where we prepare them to be successful adults, prepare them for a career in college. And music just has so many avenues for reinforcing that work that goes along in every school system. I think that's what, yeah, thank you.
Thank
you. Shirley's up next there, yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shirley Han, and I'm a senior at Richard Montgomery High School, as well as a musician and a future music educator. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about my experience as a first generation college student, also as as a Chinese American here in Montgomery County, and how music education has kind of played a really important role in my life. So I was born in America, but I spent most of my early years growing up in China. Chinese was my first language, and I had become really comfortable with my life and my family there. And when I eventually moved back to America for school, I experienced a really big culture shock. I was thrust into a whole new world, which was extremely overwhelming for me. I knew zero English. I was just extremely, I couldn't communicate with others, and I knew very little of American social norms. So because of this language barrier and change in environment, I felt as if anything and everything that I tried to communicate would be misconstrued or sound unintelligent, which made me extremely shy and really terrified to speak to others, and gave me a case of social anxiety that I still struggle with today. However, music was something that I immersed myself into to help overcome it. The nature of music was something that seemed to transcend the boundaries of language, culture, and societal rules, which were things I was really struggling to grasp in America when I first came here. Making music, whether it be singing or playing the piano, were the only moments in my early years outside of China where I felt accepted by others in the U.S. Over time, as I began to grow my artistry and musicianship, I found that music had given me a voice, as it had become a way for me to communicate my thoughts to others through a medium that seemed to be more palatable. It also helped me grow my own confidence because I was strengthening and refining a skill that had been a part of my identity for so long. This, along with the tremendous support that my music teachers have given me, gave me the strength and courage to take the confidence I'd grown in myself as a musician and apply it to situations outside of music. While I'm still quite reserved and still learning to feel comfortable in my own skin, I have made leaps and bounds in overcoming my shyness and social anxiety through music. I tell you this story to illustrate the importance of music education in our schools, especially for people in minority and marginalized communities like me who are made to feel as though their voices are better off silenced. Music has given me a voice to express things that I otherwise wasn't able to because of my language barrier or felt too scared to share through words. Music and music educators have the power to make students realize the inherent value of their voices and opinions, and through this, they help turn them into empowered, self-assured young adults. I know that without my past and current music teachers, I would not have the confidence in myself and in the value of my story to stand up here and give this speech. I'd like to end off by thanking the music educators in the room with me, Mr. Mallister and Miss Clark. I cannot begin to express to you all how important the nature of your work is to somebody like me. You all are the reason that I and other students like me look forward to getting up every single day and going to school. You've created safe spaces where I could explore, experiment, and grow both musically and personally. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you so much, County Executive, for taking the time to recognize March as Music in Our Schools Month here in Montgomery County. My name is Sydney Clark-Lecarique, and I'm a high school music teacher here in Montgomery County. I also serve on the Maryland Music Educators Association State Board as our advocacy chair. For nearly 40 years, March has officially designated by the National Association for Music Education for the observance of Music in Our Schools Month, the time of year when music education becomes the focus of schools and communities across the nation. The purpose of Music in Our Schools Month is to raise awareness of the importance of music education for all children, and to remind citizens that school is where all children should have access to music. As outlined in the Every Student Succeeds Act, music education is designated as part of a well-rounded education for every student. Here in Montgomery County, we have an incredible group of music educators who day in and day out are helping to provide this well-rounded education for our children through music. Thank you to these educators for your hard work. Montgomery County is a thriving community of creatives, entrepreneurs, visionaries, and changemakers. And through the skills students learn in their music classes relating to practice, dedication, teamwork, creativity, and leadership, we're able to help prepare our students for success outside of our classroom walls. Music education isn't just the practice and performance of an instrument or voice, but also incorporates literacy, writing, discussion, collaboration, and independence. Through the lessons we teach, our children not only have an opportunity to express themselves and their passions, but additionally learn the importance of a community and hone in on the social emotional skills that will carry with them into adulthood. In our community, I encourage everyone to continue to support and advocate for their local music programs so that all our children can continue to have the opportunity to make music. The amazing things that our students and teachers are doing through music are on display all around us here in Montgomery County. I encourage you to find a spring musical to attend, a middle school instrumental concert, a community music performance, or all of the above. Your options are endless, especially in the spring. This proclamation is just one of the many ways we see that music education is valued as a vital part of a child's life here in Montgomery County, and we are so thankful for this symbol of support. Thank you so much.
So I want to thank you, and before I read the proclamation, you reminded me of two things in my life, that because I learned how to play piano in elementary school, or started to learn, and we didn't have a piano, so our first lessons, and you've probably seen it, the paper keyboard. And so if you didn't have a piano at home, you got the paper keyboard and you played on paper, which you didn't actually hear anything, but you practiced hitting the right notes, and so that was my first introduction into it. The other thing you remind me of, and you kind of said it, your ability to get up and speak and have the confidence to speak. If you've ever performed or sung in front of a crowd, you're already over performing in front of a crowd. And so when people would ask me, like, how is it that I could stand up in front of a room and just talk? Well, if I had to get in front of a room and sing, which is hard to do and subject to much more criticism for the quality of how you sing than the content of what you sing, that was kind of like the thing that made it possible for me to do it. And I always knew that that's sort of where my ability or willingness to speak publicly had come out of the fact that I could put myself up in front of people and sing. So that it's really important, because I think it helps other people get a voice and to feel comfortable speaking. And you all three did a really great job today. So I want to read the proclamation. It says, whereas for more than 30 years, March has been officially designated by the National Association for Music Education as Music in Our Schools Month, encouraging communities across the nation to focus on music education. And whereas music education is part of a well-rounded education for every student as outlined in the Every Student Succeeds Act. And whereas the purpose of this celebration is to raise awareness of the lasting positive impact of music education on the academic, personal, and professional growth of our students. And whereas music education shapes the way our students understand themselves and the world around them, allowing for a deep engagement with learning. And whereas Music in Our Schools Month reminds us that school is where all children should have access to music. And whereas music educators, students, and communities throughout Montgomery County demonstrate the importance of quality music education programs to the lives of young people. And whereas Montgomery County joins our music students, educators, and communities in celebrating the power of music education. Now therefore do I, Mark Elrich, as County Executive, hereby proclaim March 2024 as Music in Our Schools Month, and encourage all residents to celebrate and acknowledge every day, but especially in March, that music education is an essential part of every student's well-rounded education. And signed the 29th day of March in 2024. And we can all come out in front of this podium and take a picture with us. I'll let the youngest person hold it.
Okay.